Hi everyone, so I'm staying home today. I don't have any appointments to go to, and the tennis is on, so I'll be listening to that. In between, I thought I would do my John Maxwell if this internet starts to work properly. I might have to go back to my phone. Hi everyone, I'm doing my John Maxwell. And today I don't have any appointments, so I'll probably go out later for a walk. I like to take long walks in the neighborhood. We have a nice residential area, and there's also lots of shops around. So I try to go out for a walk at least 30 minutes, 40 minutes every day. It keeps me healthy, and it keeps me at least seeing other people while I'm at home on my own and without work. I try to do that. So I'm doing my John Maxwell now on the next section. The 2 points to cover. The first one is become a maker instead of a taker. And the second one is see the bigger picture in what we're doing. So when we are makers instead of takers, we are people who like to give to others. We like to be generous with our time. We like to plant seeds, and in the right environment, those seeds do produce good fruit. They do help other people, and our lives also benefit from what we're doing. Otherwise, we get caught up in the rat race, and we're always striving to get somewhere, but we never reach the destination. If we enjoy the journey of where we are in that moment, we make the most of it. So whether I've worked in project coordination or administration or customer service, I've made the most of it. And I think if you open your heart and if you really try to listen to people and help people, you can't help but be moved by what they're experiencing, whether it's helping them with a sale or placing an order or trying to help them with getting something accomplished. But when we focus on other people, it becomes much easier, because then the focus is not only on ourselves and what we are going through. And when we look at the bigger picture, we know what help we've received along the way. We have a new pope now in our church, but I was sitting and I watched the Francis Effect documentary, and I watched the announcement for Pope John Paul II and also Pope Francis. And it's good to look back, because then we see, who came before. And Mandela used to say, we stand on the shoulders of giants. So when we look back, we see all the foundations that were built in our church, all the Bible stories that were handed down to us that give us the foundation to build on. And they become bridges for us from where we are to where we want to be. And nobody has gotten, at least in our church, nobody has gotten there on their own. Rome wasn't built in a day. And you can take just a basic image if you want. You can take the image of a road being repaired. So in Zimbabwe, the way they used to do the roads is they used to first do the gravel, put the gravel down, then flatten it, then put the tar on, let that tar cool. Whereas now there's a lot of patchwork when they build roads or when they repair them. And I don't know how long that patchwork lasts. Even here in Canada, it's a lot of patchwork. And here they do the roads differently because of the ice and the snow. They have to dig, they have to put in wood. They lay the wood, and then after they lay the wood, they have to put like a cement on the top, and then they have to put a tar. So it's built very differently compared to Africa and landlocked countries where we don't get the snow. But we're still building on foundations of others. Even this book that I'm reading, it's a foundation. I'm building on somebody else's foundation, somebody else's experience to help me in my business skill development, to help me in my growth. so that I can adapt to this North American environment, and so that I can be successful and help other people to be successful. So that's why I'm doing it. I can't afford to keep going to college and taking more and more degrees. I wanted to take another degree at Regis, but unfortunately it's not possible. So I read things like this. I have some of Pope Francis's writings. I have this book. This is A Future of Faith. This is the interviews that he gave with different journalists. So sometimes I pick it up and I read one or two of the interviews, and that's how we learn. We learn from others. We learn from even nature. There's one exercise that they get you to do where they ask you to take a picture at the same time every day and to notice the differences in that picture. It can be of a piece of fruit that's growing. It can be of a flower that's opening. And it just gets you to slow down and to pay attention to what is happening in that moment and focus on something else. And that's why normally I didn't take any photos today, but I go out onto my balcony and I take photos because it helps me to focus on how the seasons are changing, what's happening around me. And we can do that in our workplaces too. We can bring those skills to our workplaces. And there are lots of priests, spiritual directors, nuns who have jobs. They go out and they work. They don't only work in the church. They work in finance. They work in hospitals. They get paid. So I have to do the same because I have to earn my living. I don't get money from anywhere else. And that's why I'm trying to build up this John Maxwell. I'm trying to send out applications for work, not just here, but in America as well, and Australia, other places in the world. And if it means starting over, it means starting over. Millions of people do it. So it's not easy because I've been in Canada a long time. I've set up here. I have my home here. But for me, I just look at it, well, people go where they're needed. And for us in our tradition, we focus on looking at what's opening for us, what changes are coming into the society, to see where we could use our skills and apply our skills. Because it doesn't mean because I haven't had a full-time job in the church in Canada as an administrative assistant that I can't work there. I have transferable skills. And that's what people do here. You'll find that people will change fields, they'll change companies, and they'll talk about the transferable skills that they can bring to an assignment, to an organization. And that's how people move, because industries are always changing, things are always changing. And we look at planting seeds. We call it planting seeds, but we look at planting ideas. We look at planting different perspectives in the hopes that that will result in a good fruit for us, a good yield. It's like the story of the parable that Jesus had where the gardener says, let me cut this tree down and throw it away because it's not yielding anything good. And the person says, no, let me fertilize it, let me leave it for another year and see what happens. And that's the approach we take. We don't throw things away, we don't throw people away, and we try to value everybody in the Christian tradition. So those were the 2 points for today, and John Maxwell is a New York Times best-selling author. I'm a part of the team and I am growing my own business in doing this. So far, I haven't made any money from it. I also don't charge for spiritual direction. So I don't have any money coming in, which is why I do need to work. And whether that work is here or somewhere else, I really don't mind, because if I could go back to England, I would go back to England because I liked it there. But that's the way we do it, and we don't beat others up to get the best deal. You'll see when they have the Black Friday sales, people will beat each other up because they want that TV that's on the sale in America. That's not what we do, and that's not what life is about. But you'll see it happening. It's quite something when you come here from a different culture and you have to adapt to the culture change and the cultural differences. But those are the 3 points. We have to adapt a mentality of an abundance mindset, adapt a mentality of creating new pies, being creative in what we can offer, being makers instead of takers, and knowing that we are bridge builders. We stand on the shoulders of giants, but we also help to build bridges. And that's the same thing I do. Like, I go to my church, to Blessed Sacrament, but if I'm at the Newman Center, or if I'm at St. Basil's, or if I'm visiting Ottawa and they ask me to read, I help. So, and it's a nice experience to go to different churches. There are other churches. I don't have to only go to my parish, but I go to my parish because it's next door and I'm here. So it's convenient. But I do go to other churches. There are other churches around, and it's good to go to experience it, to experience other priests and to experience other parishes, and I enjoy it. I don't go into the church anymore because I have my own altar space set up here, unless I really feel that I need to go and spend some time in front of the Blessed Sacrament. I light my candle at home. I have my quiet space, so I don't really need to go into the church. Sometimes I'll do a walking rosary. I'll take my rosary with me or my prayer book, and I'll go sit in the park. And we have lots of parks around. We're lucky in that way. Like England. England has lots of beautiful parks. You can be in the middle of London and you can go to a park and forget that you're even in the city. And that's what I liked about it. But everybody has their own experiences. And for me, I think this is a volatile time. I think it's an uncertain time. Unemployment is growing. Other people may not note that. They may not see it that way because they have jobs, they're employed, they're being promoted, they have good incomes coming in. But for me, that hasn't been my experience in Canada. So I hope that this year will bring change and stability and a good income for me. And I make do with what I have. I'm lucky that I had bought packet soups, I had bought extra rice and pasta, so I can eat lentils and rice. I can have soup for supper. I'm not going to go hungry for now. But I've had times where I lived at Rosewell Gardens where my cupboards were bare. I didn't have food to eat. And I went to bed hungry and hoped that tomorrow would bring a job, and it didn't. And eventually I landed up selling my place. So I would ask you to pray for me that I get work sooner rather than later, and that it would be a good paid employment and where God wants me to be. Because maybe I want to work in a position in the church, but maybe God doesn't want me there. So I'm just trying to stay open to where it is that I'm needed. And if it's not here, I don't have a problem with relocating and leaving Canada, because I've had to adjust to leaving Zimbabwe, which I didn't want to do, leaving South Africa, which I didn't want to do, leaving England, which I didn't want to do. So if I have to leave Canada, then that's what I'll have to do. Some people are fortunate. They own properties, including in our family and extended family, and they may not have the swimming pool and everything, but when I moved in here, we didn't anticipate them building a swimming pool and the gym and all that. It helps me because of my health problems. I don't have to buy extra membership for going to the gym. But I don't own it. This is not my place. I look after it. I wash the floors, I sweep the balcony, I wash the walls, I make sure I change my bedding every week, I wash the microwave. I take care of it as if it was my own. But I too would like to have something that is my own, where I'm not renting anymore, but something that is mine. So it's been a hard journey, but everybody has good and bad things in their life. And for me, I'm just happy my doctor saved my life, because the high blood pressure was too high. It was at stage 2, it was the top end of high blood pressure. So I'm grateful for the doctors and for the help they've given me. And I do pray for my doctors and for those who have helped me along the way. And I'd encourage others to do that too. And you don't have to pray in the workplace. You can pray at home and dedicate your work to God. That's what I do. So I hope that helps you. And if you do hear of work for me, let me know. I'm always looking for referrals, and I am applying online and being open to seeing where that next opportunity comes. And it's important to stay free, to have that inner freedom. Because if you don't have that inner freedom, it's very hard to leave places and to go. I remember when I left England, the way my friend Rose Barreto cried. And she said to me, "Belinda, I hope you come back here." And even Damien Howard. Damien cried when I said goodbye to him. And he also said, "I hope you come back here." And I do hope I go back to England. Because most of the time here, weekends I'm alone. Most of the time I don't have work. Most of the time, without the support and the help of family and friends, I wouldn't be able to pay my rent or make ends meet. I wouldn't be able to buy food. And there's millions of us going through the same thing in Canada. And it seems like no matter how much you give to charity, volunteering, no matter how much good you try to do, we seem to land up back in the same position. So I don't know why that is. I don't know why Canada can't seem to come out of it, but it's hurting a lot of people, not just me. And it's sad to see, because we're helping other countries, but our own country is not coming up. And that's what's sad. Because you come here with all your skills, your education, you take on multi-million-dollar projects, and you land up broke. That's what's happening to me. That shouldn't be happening. Anyway, we put it in God's hands, and we hope for the best.